On today's video, we have 4 cozy winter theme thrift flips. I think y'all are going to love these projects today. I think you're going to learn some new techniques and we're going to have a whole lot of fun. I'm Emily with J. Bowen and Company. On today's video, we are going to be making over an outdated oak mirror and turning it into a high-end winter themed mirror. I'm going to teach you how you can use the holly and pine stamp set and make a gorgeous wreath. In fact, we're going to make 2 gorgeous wreaths. Let's go ahead and get started. The first project we're calling the Pinecone mirror. I purchased this frame with the mirror. I've already removed the mirror for $4 at a thrift store. We're going to start off this project by filling in the holes on the corners of the frame with a little bit of spackling, and then we're going to wipe it off with a wet wipe. We're going to take a sanding block and lightly scuff sand the frame just so the paint will stick a little bit better, and then we're going to clean it off really good. And now for the fun part, we're going to open up the brand new Winter Forage mold from the new Iron Orchid Designs release. I love this mold and I think you will too. This mold has 2 different pine cones and then just some foliage that you can use. This mold is very versatile because you can make many different projects with it. If you've never used a mold before and you're going to use some air dry clay, you need to first dust it with some cornstarch. That will make the air dry clay release easier from your mold. You're then going to take some air dry clay and then you're going to roll it into your hands, get it nice and warm, and then you're going to press it firmly into your mold, and then you're going to rub the excess away with your hand so that it's nice and flat. You can also use a brayer to smooth it out. I used my brayer, but I had a little bit of ink still left on it from last project last week. The pine cones came out perfectly and they were very easy to make. The smaller foliage was a little bit harder because it's very delicate, so you have to be very careful when you're releasing that one. I decided to use 3 different pine cones and 3 different of the foliages because I think the odd numbers look better. So we're going to have 3 items at the bottom and 3 items at the top. We are going to place these items on opposite corners of this frame. If you're interested in purchasing any of the new IOD release, any of the products such as the clay or any of the paint that you're going to see or any other products, you can find those on my website, but I'll put a link to all of the products in the description. So if you check out the description, you can find a link to any of those products. I can't wait for you to see how this mirror ended up turning out. It looks very high end and I think you're really going to like it. We have 3 more projects that we're going to make after this, so y'all stick around because you don't want to miss those. I know you're really going to love the wreath technique that I'm going to show you. At this point, I'm just trying to arrange the pine cones and the foliage to just make them look really nice. After I get them all laid out, we're going to go ahead and use some of the Titebond quick and thick glue, and we are going to just put some glue on the bottom of these molds. We're going to feather it out so it reaches all of the sides of the molds, and then we're just going to gently press down. You want to make sure that there is no space between your casting and your project. So you just need to gently press down because you don't want there to be any space. Otherwise, it will look a little funny and you'll have to use a little texture medium or something to fill in that space. If you had a lot of time and a lot of energy, you could put the molds completely around the frame and that would be amazing. But I don't have that kind of time or that kind of energy, so we're just going to do this. But it ends up looking very classy. It looks like something that we would find in a high-end furniture store or upscale boutique. I'm actually going to keep this project, and I'm going to keep it out year-round. I said earlier it was winter themed, and that's because it's got the pine cones and the pine. But depending on where you live, you can keep this out year-round, or if you just like it. I'm just cleaning up some of the excess clay that has gotten on the frame, and now we're going to go ahead and start painting this. I chose the color Everett from Fusion Mineral Paint. It's one of my favorite colors. It's a beautiful, kind of like an army green color, a little bit of gray in it, but it's a beautiful, classy color. It looks high-end. I've painted with this color multiple times, and if you've never painted with Fusion Mineral Paint, you're really missing out. It's a great paint. It paints on like butter. It's very smooth. It has a built-in primer, a built-in top coat, and it is self-leveling. You don't have to scuff sand your pieces, but I like to scuff sand them just a little bit because I do think that the paint adheres just a little bit better if you do that. So y'all, look how this is turning out. It's looking very pretty and very high-end. I end up putting on 2 coats of the Fusion Mineral Paint. I let this piece dry completely overnight, and now I'm going back with some of the Fusion Aging Wax, and we're just going to cover this entire frame with the wax, and then we're just going to wipe it off with a paper towel. I could have used white wax for a completely different look, or you could come back with some bronze or gold on top of this and wipe it back for an even different look. If you like how this finished mirror turned out, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, and subscribe to my channel. You don't want to miss out on any of the upcoming projects. If you're still watching this video, I would love for you to leave me a heart emoji so I know that you're still watching. At the end of the video, please let me know which one of these projects is your favorite. We are going to be making over 3 different cutting boards. I'd previously, in one of my spring Easter videos, made over the other side. I never finished painting the back side. So I thought, why not just go ahead? See, there's some little bunnies. That was one of the inlays from a season or 2 ago of the releases. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and paint the back side, and this way I will have reversible pieces instead of just more stuff to store. So I gave it 2 coats of the casement. Casement is a beautiful white color by Fusion. There are many different neutrals, many different bright colors, and they come in 2 sizes, a tester size and a pint size. Okay guys, we are taking the holly and pine stamp set, and ever since I saw this stamp set, I knew I wanted to make a wreath with it. So that's what we're going to do. This proved to be a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be, but after I got the hang of it, it really wasn't that hard. So what I did is I took one of the holly leaves. I'm using that green grass color, and also mixed with a little bit of black ink as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to just stamp it around 5 different leaves, and then we're going to use the mask that comes in the piece, and we're going to put it over the stamp and stamp the other one, the next foliage. And the reason you have to do that is because it will make whatever you stamp first will be in the foreground, then you put the mask on top of it, and then the next leaf will be in the background. If you get any smudges, you can wipe them away with a wet wipe or paint over them with whatever color that you painted the background of the piece in. We're now going to take some of the color Highlander, and we're going to fill in some of the berries that were on the actual stamps. I actually splattered a little paint up top, so I decided let's just go for it, and we'll just put berries everywhere. This is just a make-believe wreath anyway, so we're just going to add on some berries, and that's it. Final project. If you like thrift flip videos and you're enjoying this video so far, why don't you subscribe to my channel and you won't miss out on any future videos. Also, hit that bell button so it'll give you a notification. We're going to make over the second cutting board. We're just going to give it another coat. In fact, all 3 of the cutting boards are going to have that casement color. And now we're going to use this Winter Botanist set. I love this tree with the little florals on the edge and all that, but it wasn't going to quite fit on the cutting board just right because of that handle right there. So we're going to have to cut it apart and then space it so it will fit directly on this cutting board. You see, if it was together, the flowers would have gone on top of the hole and there wouldn't have been a place for them to lay. So we just cut it apart and we're just going to line it up. Those grids right there on the transfer really help you line it up. So we're just going to space it out a little bit, but still use this really pretty stamp set. The cool thing about these cutting boards, when you have 3 of them, you can stack them up together and they all kind of go together and they look nice. That's how they were when I had the different ones for spring, and now this is going to be the winter one. So I thought might as well use these cutting boards. I have 3 great surfaces. So anyway, we're just going to line this up together. If you've never used a transfer, very easy. You pull off that backing, you lay it down, you rub it with your hands. It's going to be sticky on the back. You take that stick right there. It comes with every transfer set. You're just going to rub it down and pull the plastic part back. If the transfer doesn't fully adhere, lay it back down and you'll get the rest of it off and then pull it back off. And we're just going to repeat these steps. We're going to make it very easy because most of you probably know how to use a transfer set. And if you don't know how to, well, now you know. They're very easy to use. If you haven't seen any of the new release, y'all should go check it out. There'll be a link right there in the description to show you all of the brand new release. You need to pick some of this stuff up before it sells out because it absolutely will sell out. The Christmas releases always sell out. And they're beautiful, they're gorgeous. There are Santas and winter items. I know you're going to love it. Some of you have already started getting your release, and I cannot wait to start seeing all of your projects. I wanted to go ahead and personally invite you guys over to the J. Bowen & Company free creative group. You can share your projects and get tips, tricks, ideas, and meet new friends, and it's over there in the description. You can just hit that link. At first, I thought about just stamping a tree from that Holly and Pine set, but then I thought, you know what? I'm going to do another wreath just to try it out again. This is a much smaller cutting board, so it was a little bit more challenging in a different way. So I started adding all the leaves just like I did before, all the foliage like I did before, and I got to a certain point and I thought, this looks horrible. This just looks like a giant mess. What did I do? And then I realized that I didn't leave a center hole for the wreath and it just looked like a mess. Actually, it could have been a nice little swag, but I ended up painting I ended up getting some of that casement paint and I painted a circle again in the middle. And then I decided, this wreath really needs a bow. So I took out this Victoriana mold set. At first, I wasn't crazy about this mold. I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite mold. But now that I have seen it and started using it, I really love this mold. It's really pretty. It's got these very small little delicate little bows and kind of brooches and just little tassels and things. And I thought this would be the perfect bow for this wreath. We're coming back with that Highlander, and we're going to just add some more of that Highlander onto the bow to make it really pretty. But then at this point, I'm thinking something looks off about that wreath. What is it? Oh, it doesn't look organic in the middle. So I took a little bit of that pine again, and I came back so it actually looked like it was real pine in the middle. And then I ended up adding one more piece up there at the very top, some more foliage. And now I'm taking out some gold paste from Pentart. I also carry several Pen Art products. This is the gold paste from Pentart, and we're just going to rub it and wipe it away. I hope you enjoyed this wreath project. I hope you got some inspiration, and I really hope that you will try this project. If you do, I would love for you to share it in our creative group, or you can tag me in a Facebook post. If you're in the mood for more thrift flip videos, there will be some on the screen for you to choose from. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the comments.